Okay, I wanted to go over the requirements of the project where we're going to be modifying the Genesis child theme. I wanted to use the abpainting.com website as an example of what I wanted the child theme to look like as far as its layout, look and feel wise. So let's go over the abpainting.com website and we can evaluate each one of the different areas, what I like and don't like about the application. Number one, the header. If we start at the very top, we have the header here. One of the things that I like about the Genesis theme is it allows you to select the type of header settings, either dynamic text or the image logo. To me, that makes a whole lot of sense and certainly allows the user to be able to customize the way their website appears. I'd like to obviously keep that intact. One other thing I do like about this particular website is that they do have the ability for the user to be able to enter some plain text and or widgets in the area. And from what I understand about the Genesis theme is it has the ability to be able to customize the widget area, which is right of header or header right, where we can actually add some text to that area, be it a simple phone number and address, or actually be a search bar or whatever. That's a nice feature, and I'd like to maintain that feature. One thing that the Albright has in their website that's pretty nice is they have this little link on the left hand side, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that on the header right or not. The positioning of it really doesn't matter to me, but when they click on this link it pops up a fancy box or a light box that prompts the user to enter their email address so that an autoresponder can send them a questionnaire for their contractors. That's a nice feature. I think it's great. What they've done is they've incorporated a little image here that has obviously that functionality which pops up the fancy box. Those are all nice things, and if we can in the header include that, that would be a nice ability for the user to be able to customize the header and to jazz it up a little bit. So let's now move down to the menu area. The menu area is something that I like a lot on their site. If we inspect one of these elements, we can see that basically they are using a simple graphic in the background, a PNG graphic in the background, that then they apply the words um, of the menu across the top. Upon hovering over any one of these menu items, obviously it changes the background image of the um, element itself that's hovered over. I like the fact that they are changing the color to indicate where they are on the menu as the user scrolls across. However, I'm not a big fan of the choice that they made in regards to the style. If you notice, this one has an little arc over the top, along the top of it, as well as the menu seems a little bit disconnected from the actual menu bar itself. I don't particularly care for that. What I'd rather see instead is this bar to look more like a tab. If we're going to do it, we roll over the corners and not make this a big fancy arc, or just leave it the same shadowed square rectangle here, indicating that it's over. The person's hovered over it, as well as when they hover over it, I'd like the menu to appear directly below it and over to the right, just like a standard menu, one continuous menu. I do like the color that they chose for the menu. I think in contrast to the blue it looks really, really nice. But I'm not a big fan of this whole arrow pointing up to the menu indicating that this is the drop down menu for that. I think they've gone a little fancy on that, and quite frankly I'm not a big fan of it. So the menu bar itself is fairly straightforward. Like I said, I think if you inspect the elements you'll see all the different components that they've used here. I would suggest that we either use the same or slightly modify their background images for the hover and so forth, so that we can get this menu banged out pretty quickly. As we scroll down, on the home page itself, the home page appears to have a lot of extraneous stuff at the bottom of the page, which I would just get rid of entirely. We can use the Genesis hooks piece to customize the bottom if we wanted it in the future, but quite frankly all this stuff is just extraneous, and I'm not really sure why they've done this. Maybe for search engine optimization reasons possibly, but there seems to be a lot of stuff here that's extraneous. So for now I would say let's get rid of this this whole menu bar, or this whole piece down on the footer, including the search. In fact, I would take all the way down through this copyright area. If I was going to do this copyright area, I think I would include it on the body of the page, up here in the white, rather than underneath the bottom here. I just think that it just looks a little disjointed or disconnected. As far as the body of the page is concerned, they have this nice slider here, or image rotation widget here, and that's nice. I think we can certainly use the Genesis slider to do something very similar to that. If the Genesis slider cannot do this, what I suggest is using a different type of slider. I have a couple premium sliders that we can certainly evaluate. But as far as the home page itself, I'd like to discuss with you a little bit further about how we would lay out the home page. If this would just be a standard page that has the default layout set to full width content, or if we're actually going to try to allow the user to make modifications to this area. Quite frankly, if we can just get the general site itself to look and feel the navigation, the header and the footer area, and then leave the body of this for us to be able to customize, I certainly think that we can probably do that programmatically just as easy as we could trying to develop an elaborate theme modification to be able to do that. I do notice on when a customer clicks on, say, the residential area, I do notice that they do use right-hand navigation over here. One thing I did see is that if you look at this, it says great hustle, these folks worked efficiently, but if I click on a different page, it may have a different setting to the right-hand side here. That's not too important to me, as long as the body of the page is obviously changeable. If the user wants to display two different things on the page for each and every page, then obviously we can customize the page by just creating a full context page like this, and then making the divs in CSS handle the divider there. For right now, I would say let's not worry about it. The first part of this project is certainly going to be on just setting up the navigation, the header, the menu bar, and the footer, and then maintaining the look and feel, the same look and feel for the various types of layout settings. Beyond that, I think that this customization to this theme is more cosmetic than programmatic. If we need to talk a little bit further about the home page, we can certainly do that. But for right now, I'd like to keep the work focused on the general template structure itself, the header, the menu, the body, placeholder, so to speak, and then the footer area. So I hope this clarifies things as far as what I'm looking for. I certainly think that this can be done rather quickly. In fact, I know you can change this through mostly CSS changes without a whole lot of programmatic stuff going on. If you would like to research the ability to be able to do this fancy box stuff from within the WordPress plugin, I did send I did install a plugin here that's called Fancy Box for WordPress. You can certainly take a look at that and see if that's something that we can wire up into the site itself. So like I said, I don't think that the scope of this work is extremely high. Right now what I'd like to do is just get that general look and feel of the site. Leave the body alone for right now. We can discuss what it's going to take, and I'll probably have you, in fact, do the programming to lay out this page nice and neatly and cleanly. But as far as trying to integrate an elaborate theme that allows the user to be able to change this stuff, I don't think it's that important at this point. So why don't you focus on the navigation and the general layout of the site itself, and we can discuss the home page tomorrow.